I really felt that this record felt like the clock had gone round full circle back to 12 again. And either we'd go and do this record, it would be shit, it would be so bad, and we'd all be like, right, that's it, bye. Or we'd maybe get to go round again.
It was definitely nice to take some time off. It was nice to take some time away from it. And I think with us all having kids and things, you know, it's quite a self-indulgent thing being in a band. It's quite so it was nice just to step away from that and be a person again for a while. After years of doing this, I mean, we've been doing it a long time now, you end up at the end of a road and there's nothing, you know, you've done everything you can do there, so you've got to try and back up and find new roads. And I think that's, for me, that's by learning new things and learning new ways of doing things, you know. So. Write a book, change your name, run 1,000 miles away, bite the hook, change your game, in the end it's all the same.
You know, there's no point in just making records for the sake of it. I think you have to really want to, because it's once you've, especially when you've got families, once you've made a record, then you know you're kind of looking at a lot of work after that fact. So, you know, a lot of kind of going away, touring, a lot of, you know, this kind of thing. And so you have to really want to do it and have to really feel like the record's worth making. The first little kind of writing session that we did was like, we'd do these kind of week-long sessions. We did one in London at Nigel Godrich's place, all together, all in the room. And that was, another guy came out of that one. You can say what you want, say what you want. And then we did another one in Berlin, Franny's basement. We did another one at our friend Tim's studio near Brighton.
When we sit in a room together and play, it's really nice, and it's really otherworldly. You know, you suddenly are lifted by these other three people into a realm. To have time away and to become slightly different people and have different things, and then bring that back together and still have the magic but with new influences, it's really special. And it was nice, you know, from the point we started playing again together, it felt really it was enthused with something new. The night I hear you talking in your sleep, the same old story. All I know, it's not me you've been talking to.
There were moments in New York, say in Berlin, those two sort of sessions were particularly productive. You get that magic when everyone plays something and you know that's kind of the direction it's going to go, and usually it sticks, then it's right. You know, when something's a bit sticky in the wrong way, you have to start again or ditch it. You know, we put a lot of effort into this, so it's been quite rewarding to see how we've kept all of the building blocks and then went to the studio with Michael and got a lot done quickly.
This exercise of doing these writing sessions, for me, was more about us all getting eye to eye again, coming back and going, right. It was like a relationship therapy or something. Being in a band is like being married, and being married for 20 years is hardcore.
Bands are funny things. The chemistry is very specific, and I think you notice that as soon as a member leaves a band or something happens and there's a change in personnel, then that completely changes what the band feels like. Maybe not what it sounds like, but what a band feels like. If the chemistry's good, then you stick together as much as you possibly can, as long as you possibly can. Even if that means taking a break for a long time to make sure that you get back together.
We recorded the record in a studio in Norway called Ocean Sound Recordings, and it's on an island in the northwest of Norway, which is kind of on paper quite a random place to go, and remote as well. Logistically, it's quite hard to get to. And we went there. I'd been invited to do a gig. The organisers said, "Oh, come and see the studio we've got over here." And on the car drive over, he said, "We have the desk that they recorded OK Computer on." And I'm like, "Really?" Because we recorded The Man Who on that desk. And he's like, "Really?" So we got to the studio, and there's the desk that we have this relationship with.
There wasn't like a wasted day, you know, we were just working all the time. And normally when you're in the studio, there's a lot of kind of waiting around, or there's days when it's not really working, things don't happen, but it just seemed to just go and go and go. And it really built as we were kind of there to this, you know, by the end of the 3 weeks, we were like, the record was practically done.
What I do when I write now is I write songs that I'm like that are quite tame and keep my voice there. And Dougie writes songs where he puts my voice where he knows it can go. So on this record, you know, the songs that really stretch me are some of my favourites. Michael Elbert. What can we say about the Elbert?
Super sweet.
Super sweet.
Super sweet, Douglas?
He's fantastic. He was just amazing to work with. He made it so easy, and he's such a nice man, such a great guy, and really just worked so hard for us. It was unbelievable what he was kind of up to, because he was just doing everything that he could to make it sound, as he says, very expensive.
And I can feel the ground beneath my wheels, putting me back in my place. And everything is fine.
When we first sat down with Michael, and because we're quite an organic band, we're quite sort of, you know, we just sit and sort of set up our instruments and play. And he comes from quite a different world. He comes from like sort of the pop world, and things, which is very sort of, you know, very considered. And it was nice, because as soon as we met him, I knew that we were going to meet somewhere in the middle. It was going to be this sort of meeting of the different worlds, and the album turned out exactly as I hoped it would when we first sat and talked to him, because he's brought his area to us, our sound, and we brought our sound to him.
I've always saw us as a pop band. We're a pop band. The melodies and things are so important to us that I've always felt that's what we are. So we finally get to work with a pop guy.
Another place where I can find my way, take the avenue way, and I know exactly where to go. Home is anywhere you
For me,
stay.
it's been the best ever recording session, without question, that I've been involved in, because I could be a singer for the first time and not this multitasking, grumpy mentalist.
I think it's quite a positive record. I think it's a very emotional record. I think it's quite it's got an emotional weight and heft to it, but in a kind of positive way. And I think what Andy was saying earlier on about, you know, having kids and kind of growing up a bit and beginning and looking outward, as opposed to kind of solipsistic, kind of looking always at yourself. Where You Stand, actually, the first single was I wrote with a girl called Holly Partridge, who I was kind of been doing some writing with in London. We kind of got this up to that song up to a certain point, and then I played it to Franny when we were in Norway recording, and he was like, "Oh, that's great," and I said, "Yeah, it's not finished." So he went off and finished the lyrics. So there's quite a lot of nice collaborations like that happened.
It actually made me cry.
Yeah, Andy actually had to leave the control room, and Franny was singing.
When I first heard you sing that song, it actually made me cry a little.
I forfeit my time and wait while you make up your mind. So tell me if you ever find your flight, 'cause I will be right by you.
I have gotten so much more into melody and tone, and that is more important to me than anything. There's something in, like you say, that thing in the background and the tone of the melody, and you sort of, that's what I'm listening more to now.
I forfeit my time and wait while you remake your mind. So
This record is definitely, we have embraced a different way of doing stuff with the layering of things and how we've approached the drums and stuff in particular. But ultimately you still have to play live and pull it off.
oh, I will be right by you where you stand. I will deliver.
I'm looking forward to touring. Again, it's, you know, the travel and stuff sometimes is a bit of a bugbear, but the performance, that hour and a half, 2 hours, well, it's getting to the point where we'll be playing for 3 hours because we've got that many songs to go through. It's a good sort of workout, and it's good to sort of stretch yourself, and yeah, you enjoy that performance.
I've never got over nerves. I've never got to the point where I'll step on a stage going, yes, I'm going to go, and I still sort of pace around before it, and it's a lovely release. It's a nice release because I'm quite an anxious guy most of the time. You know, I've got this sort of nervous energy, and it builds and it builds before a show, and then you go on, and then as soon as you're on there, it just fires out of you. So, and that's the point for me. That's the real, where it all kicks in beautifully, and you're like, this is amazing.